Hoi hoi, I'm Nerdragefred, and today we're talking about magic and how that will work in Warhammer 3. Are you a fan of Warhammer? Well, today we're talking about the winds. Sorry, I do too many puns. I'll just get some walking aids so we can get there really quickly. I'll just go get my hurricane. Alright, let's get into this. Now, before we start talking about winds, I'm actually going to talk a little bit about anecdotes that I have. One of the first times I went to Ireland with my wife, her grandmother told me about that kind of misty rain that just keeps on raining all the time and just never stops. And she would just say like, "It's that kind of misty rain." And it's just such a good expression. Because you know, like when it just keeps on raining all day, it's like nothing really happens. It's just like that trickle down all the time, right? And that's exactly how I feel with the hype right now and stuff like that for Warhammer 3. Like they just keep feeding us like these small blog posts. And we're going to have those until next year sometime, which is, I mean, how much longer can they continue on? We'll have like, you know what, let's just get into it. Let's just sit here and whine about it, but let's understand how magic will work and what changes they will have for Warhammer 3, right? First of all, reserves are getting changed. Right now, you go into an area and you can see the winds. You can just hover over with your mouse or cursor, and you can just see like how much magic is in there. Is it strong winds, whatever. Here you can actually like gather up as you go. There are some things that go negative as well. You can gather up to 100 without anything else, basically just traversing the map and things like that, and different bonuses. But this one is when it doesn't count for heroes, because right now you can have in reserves like infinite amounts almost, but now it's going to be a little bit easier to see and a little bit easier to make. Also, the casting that you actually have ready to use will be increased to 50 from 30. That's something we already knew from the Battle of the Brass Citadel, but the actual specifics of it aren't really that interesting, because some things you won't be able to change, and some things will happen like unless you're going for a magic specific playstyle, but you'll know that when you get there essentially. As we already knew, demons will get buffs if they have a lot of winds of magic, but they'll also get debuffs if they have low winds of magic. They'll have negatives to replenishment rates, leadership, physical resistances, etc, etc. At high winds of magic, you'll have a higher movement rate. Siege's barriers will even recharge faster, which is great. They do stop regenerating as soon as they take damage from like ranged fire or anything at all. Nurgle will have more melee defense, Slanesh will have speed, and Khorne will just get more magic resistance, it seems, the more winds of magic you have. You'll still be able to gamble before the actual battle, which is customary and always fun. And that's cool. Inside the actual Storm of Chaos, though, you'll have infinite reserves. So that's cool, like the survival battles and inside the Chaos Realms. They say Chaos Realms, I still really think they mean Chaos Waste in a lot of these, because Chaos Realms are crazy to go into. Lore-wise, the Chaos Waste is like the actual dimension, the warp, if you will, where the gods just think everything. Like, it's a dimension where everything only exists in the thoughts of these crazed gods, right? Going there is like, it's going into a dream that somebody else controls. Even the wastes are already crazy. Like, mountains can just shift. You can walk one step and you go just a mile in one step. You can take one step, you're 1 mile back. You take one step and you're, 20 years ago or 20 years in the future. Like, there's no time and space, really. So when they say Chaos Realms, it's like the Chaos Realms are even weirder than that. So we'll see how these goes. A really cool thing, though, about the Storm of Magic is that it'll apparently have like a random lore being switched out all the time. And you'll also have a bar to how that'll be constantly recharged. I say recharged, but charged. Once that one is fully charged, you get either a big bonus or you get a cataclysmical spell. The cataclysmical spell seems incredibly powerful and very unbalanced, like the Ultra move from newer, fighting games that are supposed to completely turn the tide. Now, we can see some examples here. You still need like a spellcaster to be able to cast these. But for example, Lord Beast will have everybody gets immune to psychology and gain bonuses. If you use the Cataclysm spell, the strength of the wild is imbued on one unit's weapon damage, armor piercing, melee attack, and physical resistance. Well, I hope that gets really strong because it's just one person, like one dude, right? Or one unit. Lore Life, everybody gets perfect vigor. That is really strong, especially if you're just going for a long fight. That can still be changed as well in the battle as these things get replaced with different lures. If you don't cast that one, then it's gone. The actual spell is a tree sprouts from the ground, raw life energy flows across the battlefield, providing a huge regeneration aura. I don't know how many people played Crusaders. Kingdom Under Fire, exactly that spell, I guess. Lord Death, all units gain armor piercing melee damage, which seems great as a passive. The Cataclysm spell is Ashes and Dust. Suffocating dust cloud chokes the lives from enemies in wide area after a short wind-up. That kind of feels like the... Man, I wish I didn't just use meme names constantly when I stream these. Principal's, it's basically the smoke monster from the TV show Lost. It goes across the battlefield. Dark Elves can get down. I think they also added it for a couple of other factions as well now. But a larger area, but a larger one than that, I guess. Or it could also be like Fog of the Damned as well, I guess, in a area. We'll have to see. Lure of Fire. All units get bonus melee attack, which is by far the weakest so far. Melee attack is always one of those things that melee defense will save you. It will make the one that gets the bonus win. Melee attack is one of those things that, unless you have good melee defense, it doesn't really matter. Like, just check Giant Slayers have really high melee attack, they still die to stuff. It doesn't really matter. Like, yeah, they attack stuff fast, but it doesn't mean that it's better than anything else, But the Cataclysm spell is Magma Storm. Massive eruption protrudes from the ground, burning everything in the area in the magical fire. Sounds really good. Reminds me of old Sacrifice game, where you had that, which would devastate everything. Nice. Door of Heavens. All missile units deal extra damage to extra armor piercing damage. I mean, that's going to be OP, right? That's the one everybody's going to probably try to go for, especially Cathay, which have Lore of Heavens now as well. And, their ranged units will probably just murder stuff. Unless they change how the game works. Because right now, range is the most powerful thing in the game. No matter if you want to use that or not. The Cataclysm spell is Thorsten's Thunderstorm. A great storm that develops above the battlefield, annihilating an area with lightning bolts and Lore of Light. All units gain immunity to psychology and magical attacks. The Cataclysm spell is Time Amok. The flow of time is altered over a portion of the battlefield, improving allies' reload skill, speed, and melee attack. Once again, it's probably going to be better for the reload speed. I don't think the melee attack is really that good. Speed is cool if you want to go somewhere, but immunity psychology, magical attacks. You know what? Immunity magical attacks is pretty good. It depends on what they mean, magical attacks, hitting stuff, or if they mean an actual spell. Because if you're immune to spells, that's insane. Lore Metal, you get all units free bonus to armor, missile resistance. Great, fantastic. That's exactly what you want. Armor isn't the best thing. Usually, it's one of those things like Blackhearts and Nagron have really high armor, but they still die to archer fire, right? So they survive a little bit better than with melee defense, but I'm always armor is a little bit oversold to me. I don't think it's as good as a lot of people think it is. Obviously, it's still not useless. It does provide good defensive versus stuff, and things with good melee defense and good armor are great. And you get Gehenna's Golden Globe. A great molten sphere emerges from the earth and rolls across enemy forces. That sounds pretty fun. I have no idea how good that's going to be, but that sounds incredibly good. It might just be like a wind spell that just goes across everything. We'll see. Lore's Shadows. All units get faster charge and movement speed. I guess they mean higher charge bonus. Faster charge? We'll see. Movement speed is never bad. Unless you're already you're still gonna be actually fighting when this one actually already starts. I guess it's probably good for vampires, something like that. That's gonna have to charge a lot and work for us, while the rest just sit there in their mosh pits. Who knows? And they get Dance of Despair, which is a haunting tune, envelops enemies in the area, reducing their leadership, melee defense, and melee attack. That's great. It's a fantastic one, depending on how much it actually does. If it does 8 melee attack and melee defense, stuff like that, it's It's cool. If it does more, that's going to be pretty good. That's probably going to be one of the best debuffs in the game. We'll have to see. Right now, Fog of the Damned is really goddamn good. It's like minus 40 melee attack, which is crazy good. As already said here as well, Khorne gets higher spell resistance because for everything, because he doesn't use magic. He gets angry at magic. And Tzeentch gets to pick out which lore will be the first one in Ascendancy. So you can, you know, choose a little bit what's actually good for your army comp, because these are random otherwise. Also, that Tzeentch has more stuff to actually increase the rates of which power recharges, because when we say power reserve, that means your backgrounds, magic, and, you know, what's not in reserve is what you can use. Little globe right now, which is going to be something else, not a globe, in the next one. Anyway, that's it for me today. Thank you all for listening, maybe even watching, I don't know. Hope you didn't think all of my wind puns blew. And if you want more, you can find me on twitch.tv/Nerdragefred. Just about, well, almost daily. It's 6 times a week. Stream a lot of strategy games, like everything, basically. We just had a horror week. It's actually really good fun. And I'll actually have a clip in the end of this one if anyone wants to see how the stream usually is. You can also follow on @Nerdragefred on Twitter. See when videos go live, weird takes on stuff, and general buffoonery, I suppose. Now, like and subscribe, comments. It helps the algorithm. I'm trying to grow the channel. It really helps me. If you didn't like it, then, you know, leave a like anyway, because, like, man, those dislikes haunt my soul. So, I mean, like, it's crazy, right? If there's anything you want to see in the future, let me know. Otherwise, we'll be trying to. I'm just trying to, like, really keep up with these blog posts and stuff like that right now, and for the best capacity that I can. I'll see your cute faces next time. It's over, mannequin. I have the high ground. Welcome to a horror week.